let's build some cover letters. We're going to do this fast, and it's going to make things exponentially easier so that you're not spending hours trying to tailor everything. This is what AI is supposed to be used for. So, quick summary of what we're doing here in terms of resources. You're looking at the brief and the cover letter resources, everything that you've seen from the standpoint of the different prompts that are available. These are handwritten by me. We have a bunch of other prompts that somebody else has written. There's tons of examples of good resume, sorry, good cover letters. And then there's a few different templates that you could play with. I think this one's kind of the wild card, just something to take a look at. I think it's all interesting, and yeah, that's there for you. Then we're going to actually build a project within ChatGPT, and we need to prompt some of the training data, and that will allow us to insert company data along with a bunch of examples so that we get these really sharp cover letters. Then these are the different prompts that we can try out in terms of building individual cover letters that pair either a job application or a super robust bit of company data that we're going to research together. And then just so you have it and you have access to it quick, you want to be able to find your CV versions, resume management setup so that you can quickly go in and look at your different versions in order to train the project model. And we are going to then start the activity of outreach tracking or tracking the jobs that we've applied to. Eventually, outreach comes a little later. So, long intro, but let's get into it. First, we're going to create a cover letter project inside of ChatGPT. We've done this before. This isn't anything new. So we're going to hit projects, new project. I'm going to call this cover letters. Great. Super simple. Let's add some files. Now we already have saved a bunch of those first source data files. So that's our resume. That's our crazy all projects list. That's our skill categories. It's everything that we developed in kind of that prep work era. Nice. Now we want to give it instructions. These instructions are right inside of the brief. They're right here. And basically what we've done is we've pulled in a bunch of that training material from the standpoint of good examples of cover letters, and we plugged that in there. So what I'm going to do is basically just copy everything that's in here. Now, if you don't particularly love any of these articles, I've also linked inside of the brief different places for you to go about finding these are, or just removing some that you don't think really suit you or are not relevant. So I'm going to do add instructions and paste, save. Nice. Let's go back to the brief. And the next step is we are going to research the company using ChatGPT. Now, I realize this is slightly out of order, but it's kind of important to be able to pull in a lot of company data while you are sculpting a lot of these cover letters. So it's often a chicken and egg type of situation. So we are going to create a second project while creating this one. I know it's a little complicated, but play ball with me. So I am going to create another project. Nice. Back over to my brief. I'm going to need to use the prompt in order to provide instructions on how to parse out information from job ads and hopefully enrich to be able to provide a lot more data about the company, the job, and so many other things. So quite a long prompt, as you can see. I'm going to copy. Back inside of ChatGPT, I'm going to hit add instructions and paste and save. Back inside of my brief, it's telling me to download the job and outreach tracking sheet. Now, this sheet is going to allow you to keep track of all the different applications that we're going to use. So I am going to make a copy real quick. So I'm going to do file, make a copy, rename, throw it into applications, and hit make a copy. Great. Now I want to make sure that I download this. Download. Nice. Now I need to upload that downloaded file. So I'm going to hop back over to ChatGPT. Here we are. Click add files. Click add files again for fun. Select, and it's uploading. Next, I need to find a job ad or a job opening that I really want to apply to so I can use the company data in order to enrich so that I can build my cover letter. I know we're jumping out of order here, but just for giggles, I've given a bunch of the different job board lists ones that are specific to Denmark, international startups, and VC and portfolio. And you need to go through and find some jobs. We will go super deep into this later, but for the time being, I've already picked out a couple of different jobs. So, first one is this one, and the second one is this one. The problem is this is a very bare bones application. So, I need more data, so I'm going to slip backwards and let's see. Oh, there it is. And there's the job description. This is what I want to enrich off of, not just a very bland, sparse data application page. So, first things first, I need to collect the URL, and I'm going to do both at once just to be crazy. I'm going to mix it up. Great. So what you can see here is it's provided me a bunch of information which is relevant to the job, just big picture stuff. I have the company name, URL, the very short description of what the company does, the industry, then the subcategories, which is sometimes really helpful for tailoring the cover letter, then the URL to LinkedIn, which could be helpful for structuring a lot of the specifics within the cover letter, as well as the resume in the future. Some other really just kind of high level stuff, and I like to pull the date just for fun so that I'm able to fill in more of those fields when I'm tracking stuff. So I'm going to copy everything that's in here. Again, you can do this for multiple jobs at once to save some time, which, I mean, who doesn't love that? So I am dropping that in there. Great, it's in there. Now, the next thing that we want to do is actually create cover letters for this, so we have to take them one at a time. So I'm going to copy all of the data inside of that one row to build a cover letter. So I am pasting all of that company data, and I'm doing it just for one job to start with, and here we go. In many of the prompts that I've put together, I've often structured some of the prompts to ask me clarifying questions before it gets started, so I'm going to answer these. You can be short form or long form, just try to give a coherent answer. Great, so I can see that it's given me a pretty tight little cover letter. I am also open to lots of different versions. So I'm going to ask it, hey, why not provide me three more examples of cover letters based on the inspiration guides and examples I've given you. And we're off to the races. Nice. You know what? I actually really like the second one. So I am going to do that. So I'm going to copy this. Now I want to create a folder specific to this application so that I'm able to come back to it if necessary. So file, new folder, name it after the company that I'm applying to, then make a new Google Doc, and then I'm just going to paste it in here so I can always come back and find it later. And of course, rename it. Now we want to download it so that we can submit it into an application. So file, download, and remember to make sure that we're downloading as a PDF. And you can see it's been downloaded. Now I do upload this just to have it for my records. You don't always have to do that, but I'm a crazy person. That's what I do. Maybe you want to share the URL, so you click the three dots, share, and then copy link. You can also throw this into your tracking so you're never going to lose any of this stuff ever again. The tail end of this is just completing the application. We've already gone through how to go about building a ton of answers out. I've already shown you how we go about building the cover letters, so it's a matter of just going into the application and attaching that. Great, now it's attached. And the last remaining stuff is getting that resume up to snuff, tailored to the job description. And of course, then we're doing some tracking afterwards. I will mention at the tail end of this that there are so many different ways that you can adjust a lot of the different prompts in order to get very specific types of cover letters. I provided a ton of resources further up that allows you to select one or two of either the guides or the different layouts that you really like. There's no single one way to do this. And as you can see, there's just a crazy amount of stuff in here. I would encourage you to pick and choose one or two of these as opposed to all of them because you start to get kind of this amalgamation or cluster of all of these. I have also given you a ton of different prompts that either focus on a mission and vision or focus on a company that doesn't list any jobs. All of that's there for you. I hope this helps. This should make things so much faster when creating cover letters from scratch. And let's jump into now building a tailored resume so we can move into a lot of really cool tactics shortly after.